We confronted our fears. We had to do something we felt uncomfortable with. We didn't want to do it. We did not.
You know, you cannot escape a prison if you don't even know you're in one. I know many of you are stuck in the circle of bad luck, or so it may seem. It's run amok. But the reality is, there's nothing but you holding you back, and one thing in your mind, the paradigm. This is my experience with mine. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Say it will not. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. It will enslave. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Try to contain. Paradigm is always going. And it will do its job properly. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is like a judge that'll throw the book at you every time you go out of your comfort zone. That's what I feel discouragement is. Sure is something though. So many days and weeks and months I didn't know what would happen. Feeling trapped and abandoned. Distractions amassing. Wish I could wish it away like Aladdin. Well, I kind of did by basking in the glory of a wealthy, rich life, asking questions till I get the right answers. I thought I was wrong until I figured out that you can get out no matter what. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Say it will not. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. It will enslave. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Try to contain. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Subconscious habits take over very fast. You could even say Jim Quick. Feel like I may need a doctor, but I really need to find a proctor. What a magical mental health monster. Put my brain up on a charger and expanded my terror barrier farther than I ever imagined. Rest in peace, energy still here. I use it on this album, but I'm sad and I'm always gonna remember all these outcomes. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Say it will not. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. It will enslave. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Try to contain. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Paradigm is always going. Now, what will you do with this information pressed into your imagination? The possibilities are endless.
Thing to do. All of us feel something. And in Leo Tolstoy's famous novel, The Death of Armin Aliic, he asks this question that would be terrifying to me. He says, as he has his accountant from Moscow lying on his deathbed, contemplating the horror of this question, what if my whole life has been wrong? I've known what my music is. It's playing right now. As I stand here in front of you with these cameras and in this place, as I sit down and write my books and tell the world what I know are my truths, I feel always completely on purpose and fulfilled. And no time will I ever come to the end of my life and say, what if my whole life has been wrong? Whoever you are, whatever that music is, however distant it may sound, however strange, however weird others may interpret it to be, don't get to the end of your life and know that you're going to leave and not have it played yet. Don't die with your music still in you.